Now, new calls tonight for a full EPA investigation after a top energy official admits on tape that the administration handles oil companies like the Romans going into Mediterranean villages doing random crucifixions. Who talks like this? Well, Brian Shackman joins us now with all the details. Good evening, Brian.
You're going to hear, Larry, exactly how he does talk. Thank you very much. This is one where the Obama administration is not too happy, as you might imagine. The words of one person at the EPA are being taken as representative of the White House's approach to the entire domestic oil and gas business, and it's created quite a bit of a political firestorm. Back in 2010, EPA Administrator Al Almendarez, who oversees 5 states and 66 tribal nations, told employees it would be useful to make examples of oil companies. How? Well, watch this.
It was kind of like how the Romans used to conquer little villages in the Mediterranean. They'd go to a little Turkish town somewhere, they'd find the first 5 guys they saw, they'd crucify them. And then, that town was really easy to manage for the next few years. And so you make examples out of people who were, in this case, not complying with the law.
And as you just saw, it was recorded and supposedly uncovered only recently. And yesterday, Senator James Inhofe, Republican from Oklahoma, one of the states Almendarez oversees, described the comments as Exhibit A of an administration he says wants to get rid of fracking, which would essentially derail the current production boom in the United States.
They have the enforcement tools. They are able to scare people, intimidate people, and these are the very people who are working, hiring people, doing what's necessary to run this machine called America.
Today, Almendarez apologized, and the EPA obviously doing some damage control, but some are saying the tape reveals what really is on the minds of the EPA. 3 congressmen have called for the official's resignation, so we will see what happens. Mr. Kudlow, back to you.
All right. Many thanks to Brian Shackman. Maybe we can get some sound on the floor. I think I lost my connection. All right, that's right. Here now we do have the aforementioned Oklahoma Republican Senator James Inhofe. He's also laid us out with the new book, The Greatest Hoax, How the Global Warming Conspiracy Threatens Your Future. Senator Inhofe, you uncovered this extraordinary tape. What is this kid trying to say? Is this EPA policy? Is it a crucifixion war on oil and gas, or what?
Larry, we've watched the intimidation for so long now, and this is the first time we've actually gotten the audio on a tape where he's actually talking about it. Now, this is the director of the 6th district of the EPA, so he has, including my state of Oklahoma, Texas, and other states. But to go through and pick up people, well, first of all, let's start with the crucifixion. For him to make the statement that is, and I think you stated it very well, to go around the Mediterranean like the Romans did, and they'd find and would crucify.
This guy. This is the most ludicrous thing
to crucify the first 5 guys, so you can get their attention.
It's remarkable.
And the rest of the thing, of course, I had the whole statement I read it on the floor of the Senate, which covered a lot more than that. But the point is there. They want to intimidate people, and they want to actually. The big picture there is they want to do away with fossil fuels.
All right, we're going to get to that in a second. Let me just read you what the man actually said. Quote, "It was kind of like how the Romans used to conquer little villages in the Mediterranean. They'd go into a little Turkish town somewhere, they'd find the first 5 guys they saw, and they'd crucify them. Then that town was really easy to manage for the next few years. So you make an example of people who, in this case, are not complying with the law." Is this a political and cultural statement of the Obama EPA's war on oil, gas, and fossil fuel? Is that what really behind this?
That's what's behind it. He's had this war on fossil fuels since before he was president, and he's done his best to stop it. If you stop and think about it, we have produced more recoverable reserves in oil and gas and coal than any country in the world. Our problem is they won't let us exploit our own resources. Now, it would be very difficult for him to continue what he started out when Obama was saying, well, we just don't want, the oil and gas and all that. So he went on, if you remember his last big message, his joint statement, the joint session, he praised natural gas, but then very quietly said, we got to do something about hydraulic fracturing. Now, let me tell you about that. The first hydraulic
EPA regs. You think they're really bad for fracking? That's good.
Yeah, what they want to do is stop hydraulic hydraulic fracturing. Larry, you can't get 1 cubic foot of natural gas out of a tight formation without hydraulic fracturing. And the first hydraulic fracturing was in my state of Oklahoma. That was way back in 1949. There's never been a documented case of groundwater contamination. But look what happened. I named several of the companies, and several more have called us since then. But Range Resources, for example, that's one of the examples I use. They accused them of groundwater contamination. They did not have the evidence there. They actually sent a letter to fine them $33,000 a day. For a year, they had a barrage of accusations against this company.
And they lost.
And then there was no evidence. And then very quietly,
Range won.
And so what do you do very quietly to withdraw your accusations and your charges? You wait until Friday night, when it's a slow news day, and that's what happened.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. I'm glad you uncovered this tape. I think it tells everything about the politics and the culture of the Obama EPA. It is quite remarkable. Many thanks to Senator James Inhofe of Oklahoma. Now,